Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight. /ask Reddit by Ask Planet. What weird thing does your body do that you just accept? Sometimes when I yawn, saliva literally squirts out of my mouth. No idea why, it's kinda weird. I think this is called gleeking. I sat by a kid in freshman physical science class that would gleek on our teacher from about 20 feet away, and the teacher never figured it out because he was fairly old and had horrible eyesight. What the actual F did I just read? Some kid in high school would spit on old people who had poor eyesight. Gross. And amazing. I can do it on command. If I push my tongue against the roof of my mouth, I can gleek like a llama spitting. It's really weird. Probably a triggered saliva gland, particularly the submandibular gland. I work in a dental office and this is actually really common when people open their mouths wide. Whenever I have to get up early next morning, my brain won't just let me sleep. I have this too. 6 a.m. flight? No way, I am sleeping the night before. I also have chronic insomnia, so I've always just lumped it with that issue. I get anxious about the fact that I have to get up in the morning for something and then worry that I won't get enough sleep for that thing and what will happen if I'm too tired, and then next thing I know hours have passed and I'm less tired than I was before. Right. I can sleep like a baby every night, except the night I actually need to be up the next morning. When I work morning shift I have to wake up at 4:15, so if my brain let me sleep if get some 6 hours of rest. However, it usually takes me TW hours to fall asleep, and even then I wake up 2 or 3 times in the night because I'm terribly anxious of sleeping in. I think I don't reach the deep sleep phase most nights. One Saturday I was taking a nap after work, and when I woke up I literally jumped out of bed because I thought I had missed work even though my shift had actually already ended. Morning shift effing messes me up. Sometimes a part of my body just twitches. Shoulder, toe, bicep, etc. etc. It stops after a while, but I can never get a good look at it because if I move my head it stops. Doesn't hurt and only happens every few days. That always happens on my ass cheek for some ungodly reason. I'm gonna need some picture proof. You know. For science. Eyelid. Eyelid twitches are possibly related to stress. Stress and lack of sleep on my end. Crazy eyelid twitches. I have exploding head syndrome, which is a lot scarier sounding than it actually is, a sleep phase disorder. Basically, when I'm falling asleep I occasionally hear random phantom noises that startle me back awake. For me, I most commonly hear someone shouting my name, an unintelligible brief yell, knocking on the door, or the doorbell. I've noticed over the years that it tends to happen mostly when I'm overtired and or anxious, and I may not have one for months and then have them every other day for a week. Edit, oh my, this comment exploded. I'm amazed how many people relate. I don't have the syndrome, but sometimes when I'm really sick and I try going to sleep I hear a door slamming shut or explosions outside and I jolt awake. Doesn't happen often. I don't have this syndrome but I have all the symptoms. I had this as a side effect of an SSRI, I think. I was trying so many meds it's a blur. Mine always sounded like someone crashed cymbals inside my head. I think I had this before I started on N3 but I don't remember a lot before then. I also get hypnic jerks, feels like I'm falling then I jerk awake. I've had that happen a couple times. Scares the shit out of me since I live with grandparents. I hear someone scream, fly out of bed so fast I nearly pass out, forget my glasses and can't see my hand in front of my face, wander aimlessly around the house looking for anything out of the ordinary, step on the dog's tail in my blindness, check on grandma, see that she's still breathing, try to chill out, apologize to the dog, and go back to bed. Voluntarily piloerection, or to put it more cooler, I can raise my hair, i.e. have goosebumps at will. Edit, it's apparently rare but seeing the amount of people saying they have it too, you should get in contact with James Heather who is researching about the same. At least you can always read the wind direction. No way, that's pretty sick. I've sat here the last few minutes trying to do it and I can't, haha. But one thing I can do is slightly raise my body temperature. No joke, I can just basically concentrate and think to myself, wow, it's super hot, and I get like this little heat wave I feel mostly on my face and neck, but it spreads down a little more sometimes. And I've tested it with a digital thermometer. Without fail the thermometer reading goes up 1 or 2/10 of a degree. Dude. Me too. But, more substantially, like, enough that as a kid, if I didn't feel like going to school, I'd wander meekly downstairs, real quick raise my temp, have mom check it, and sure as shootin' I'd have a fever. Boom. Automatic at least 2 days off school. We had a rule you'd have to be fever-free with no meds for 24 hours before allowed back to school. Dang, I should have developed my talents a little further, haha. I will just randomly get a huge chill which looks like a mini seizure. People always ask what's wrong. Edit, genuinely surprised at how common this is. Glad to see I am not alone, smile, gar, me too. Doesn't even have to be cold for my body to randomly be like, okay, shake time. I have neurological issues that make me have phantom feelings. For instance, the last 2 days I have had a burning sensation, like if I'd rested a hot soup bowl on my thigh, but there's nothing there. It can feel like little bug bites, scratches or streaky burns. It's never severe, mostly just weird to feel a distinct sensation for no reason. Sometimes I'll ask a family member to check for marks. The other day I pulled up my shirt, turned around and asked my mom if there was anything on my back. She was like, oh my goodness. There is. Looks like one of the cats got you. And we were both so weirdly delighted I'd actually been mauled. Lol. Judging by your name, I imagine you know about ticks and Lyme disease. Have you been tested for it? It is Lyme disease. Lol, I've been tested using 2 of the tests and this is one of the weird things it can do. I haven't kept up on it lately. Are there more treatment options on the horizon? Not really. There's a lot of woo, which isn't for me. But, as for legit options, not so much. In fact, I'm in Florida and the Mayo Clinic here directed me to a faculty in Minnesota. That's the real Mayo Clinic, the main location. Both sets of my grandparents have had to go there for different reasons, definitely one of the best medical facilities in the world. It's no wonder they referred you to go there. I've got a mysterious muscle disease that I've been trying to get diagnosed, but even after all the tests I've had done, no doctor has figured out what it is. Every single one of those doctors has told me to go to Mayo, but I just haven't had the time, or insurance, to get up there. And if anyone is curious about my muscle thing, this started when I was a junior in HS, currently an undergrad senior. When I work out, lifting and running mostly, my hands and feet start to go numb. The numbness spreads from my arms and legs until I can't really feel anything. I get very hot, but feel cold, and I sweat. This takes anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, depending on how hard I was exerting myself. My wrists begin to curl inwards, until it feels like they're going to snap off. Then comes the cramping. Every muscle in my entire body contracts simultaneously. I feel muscles I didn't even know I had, and have almost no control over my body. The pain is unbearable. Sometimes it only lasts 10 minutes. The most was 45, but usually it's somewhere in the middle. When it starts to subside, I get extremely tired. Feeling starts to come back, and I can't even stand because my muscles are so weak. The next few days feel like I ran an ultramarathon and trained to become Mr. Universe at the same time. Almost 5 years of this, and no answers. I can't believe I've never thought to do this, but maybe I should post this in a medical sub. Lol, that went a little off topic, but oh well. Edit, it has also recently started happening to my little brother, who is going to be a senior in high school. His seems to be somewhat milder, though. So, it's definitely genetic. I have this and was just diagnosed with lupus. Alright, that sounds possible, hard to diagnose, can have genetic factors, muscle cramps, joint pain, shortness of breath. All present. I'll definitely be talking with a doctor soon, thank you. When I yawn and stretch I become blind for a few seconds, don't know if that's normal. Are you perchance maybe closing your eyes? Haha, you would think that, but no. If I yawn and have a big stretch I nearly pass out and have ever since I was a kid. I'm sure it's something really simple and obvious, but I've never bothered to get it checked out. When I stretch I think my blood pressure skyrockets or something and I feel wobbly even though I'm not, then I stop recognizing everything, like I still see it, I just don't know what it is anymore, then I collapse and feel like I'm shaking violently. Since I can trigger it at will, I did some testing and practice when I was younger. I learned to recognize it in the first second or so, that way I can lower myself into a chair or onto the floor safely, and once it feels how I imagine a full body seizure feels, I know that I'm not actually moving at all, because I had my brother and mum watch me a few times during the testing. My best guess is it's something to do with my blood pressure, because when I do a big stretch I clench up and feel my blood pressure spike in my face and head, and that's half of the combination required to trigger it. The other half is stretching backwards with my arms extended. Just spiking my blood pressure or stretching backwards with my arms extended doesn't do it, and no two other combinations worked. It sucks sometimes because while I can do it whenever I want, it can also be involuntary. Possibly an overactive vagus nerve? I went to Vegas and wasn't nervous at all. I don't have a VAG. Thank you for supporting Ask Planet, you guys are the best.